Hi everybody, I am here to talk about self-care. Self-care for you, but also your partner or your support team, and what does that look like with preconception, prenatal, labor, delivery, postnatal. I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of different things in here. We're going to break it down throughout this module and section, and also again, just like every section, we're going to have an opportunity to have a workbook, so if you so choose to work through, to be able to reflect back on, to garner some insight, because it is kind of fun to sit down potentially later on to do a little bit of a journal for your little one about your experiences, but also for you to look back on for yourself. That's just a different aside. So preconception, first off, talking about self-care is sitting down and thinking about actually how are you feeling mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, are you doing lots of movement? Are you feeling your best version of yourself? Is your nutrition supporting your output? Are the nutrients going in equating or surpassing your outputs? Your system isn't breaking down. Is your physiology overloaded? Are you exhausted? Are you sleeping well? What is your mindset? Are you happy? Are you joyful? Are you worried? Are you scared? Do you feel stressed out? Right? Listen to your body. What is it trying when you're trying to become pregnant? Are you making sure you're resting? Are you making sure you're relaxing? And your nutrients are going in. We're going to have a whole section on nutrients here later on. But allow yourself to feel all the feels and share and talk about those experiences for you, for both parents and partners, so you know what's going on in your body before you get pregnant. Because if your system is too exhausted and overloaded, sometimes individuals can have challenges getting pregnant. So I want to, with this thought and comment and verbiage, just try and help you set yourself up to prepare yourself for pregnancy and getting yourself in the best state to be able to conceive. And this also goes for your partner, because their mindset and their nutrients and their movement impacts conception as well. It's not just mom, right? So both of you getting on board, sitting down, looking at and talking about how you're feeling, how life is going. If it's overloaded, how can you make some changes to bring some more ease into your world to get yourself set up to make a baby. And guess what? As I said, dad's nutrition and mindset also matter. So making sure you're both mentally in a great headspace, feeling great, and moving in a great direction, right? That's hard to do, right? It's hard to always be moving in the same direction in a relationship, because you're potentially always going different directions in terms of maturing and changing as your relationship evolves over time. But that's a different conversation, right? So prenatally, you want to sit down and do the same thing while you become pregnant. That first trimester is actually the very most important. Some people think, oh, baby's just little, it doesn't matter, but this is actually where they're laying down the foundation for the rest of their life, because the first thing that develops is their brain and their spinal cord, and then all of their organs and systems and cells. So this is a key part of your pregnancy. We want to make sure that you're listening to your body. How is it feeling? What is it saying? Does it need more rest? Does it need no more nutrients? Does it need more movement? Or are you doing those things, right? Were you doing those things before you got pregnant, and how to continue them at the same time, maybe before you get pregnant, to introduce those things. And it doesn't have to be crazy in terms of movement. Movement can be walking. It can be doing some light cycling or rowing in your home, walking on a treadmill. It doesn't have to be a full-on CrossFit, personal training experience. It can be, if you wish. It can be whatever you want it to be, but as you enter into pregnancy, you want to make sure that you're not starting something new that you've never done before, that stresses out your system and your body, because your body is already growing a new human. And that is absolutely amazing, but at the same time, it is hard on your physiology. So you want to be able to support it that much more. Supporting it with taking some time to resonate with what you're feeling and thinking, and honor those feelings, making sure that you're communicating them with your partner, or journaling them if you need to. That may not be who you are and your personality, that's fine. But at the same time, you can connect with baby right from the get-go, when you can't believe that you're actually pregnant, unless you're having a lot of morning sickness. But at the beginning, if you're not, you may be like, I can't believe I'm pregnant, I don't feel anything. That connection through journaling about how you're feeling, those emotions, can make a a difference between how you're going to make choices and selection for your nutrients, your movement, your sleep, your habits, and listening to your body along the way. The more you can help teach yourself to listen to your body and how you're feeling early on helps you throughout, during labor, but also postnatally as well, keeping a connection with you as a person. So being present in your journey is a key piece, allowing yourself to feel the hormone roller coaster and take time to honor those emotions and feelings, as I was saying. Be present in the journey, allow yourself self-compassion, focusing on your self-image, being of the mindset that your body's going to change, yes, but you are growing a little human, and focusing on that if you can. It is super hard because as you're growing a baby, you are the most powerful that you ever will be because you sense and perceive things on a totally different level. Sight, sound, smell, taste, you name it. Your body is more sensitive and perceptive of all those things because it is more protective, because you have another life inside of you. So you have your sense of innate and then they have theirs, and you two are working together. But being aware of that and listening to that and along that line, being aware if self-image is an issue for you and communicating that as your body is evolving and changing as baby is growing as well. Seeing joy in it and expressing it, taking pictures along the way and focusing on the beauty of it if you can, right? I know some individuals really, really struggle with it and hate being pregnant because they don't feel their body is their own. But sharing that with someone and communicating that as you go along, and know that it's only for a short period of time, and then you get to welcome this beautiful new baby, and not too long after baby arrives, a few weeks or so, or a few months, depending on where you're at in your mindset and your movement, nutrients, all those pieces, your body in a lot of ways comes back to where it was before. But being present in the journey along that way and that awareness as you're going through it. Whom you can share with or speak with as you're feeling all these different things is a safe person. That's where the module on who your village is and being aware of your village is super, super important. And someone that is safe to talk to and share with may evolve and change along the way. Postnatally, listening to your baby cues, your body, keeping as much off your plate as you can those first 7 weeks, so you can focus on baby and get to know when they want to eat, when they want to sleep, when their diaper is dirty. All those pieces you can pick up on. Sometimes it takes a few days, a couple weeks, 7 weeks, and just when you think you've got it, they may change because they're maturing and their brain is growing 1,000,000 miles a minute, literally in an hour, more than ours does in a few months. So it's going to change right when you think you've got it and got the knack. It's going to flip a little bit, but just being aware of it so you're not too distracted and missing it, because that's when baby gets more upset and they're more fussy because you're not hearing what they're trying to say. But just being connected with them and growing together. Less is more during those first few weeks. And recovery and healing can take longer than we expect sometimes. So self-care in this phase is super, super important. And listening to your body, making sure you're not having any unusual pains or bleeding past where your body should after delivery. And pregnancy and labor, making sure that you're not exerting a ton of energy because you're going to be using lots for healing and nursing if you are nursing, but also listening to those cues. Even with formula feeding, you still have to listen to all those cues that are there. There's a lot of mental and emotional changes that are happening, right? As your hormones are changing. I was talking that already a little bit in your village section and scheduling, but this is really, really key in your self-care. A big, big piece throughout pregnancy, labor and delivery, and postnatal is nutrients. That's going to ebb and flow depending on whether or not you're having morning sickness or not. So I'm going to kind of go backwards and forwards here. So making sure that before pregnancy you're getting lots of antioxidants, omega-3s, lots of proteins going in, healthy fats, proteins. Get your body ready to its optimal state to become pregnant. That first trimester, same thing, keeping those things going. Sometimes with morning sickness, individuals have found morning sickness happens because the body is short or low in something. Sometimes it is protein, believe it or not. If you are a person that's doing paleo, potentially it is not that. Maybe there's too much protein but not enough healthy fats. Healthy fats are, again, I'm going to talk more about this in the nutrient section, but the avocados, the chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp hearts, and on, right? It's looking at what's going in. We are exhausted most commonly in that first trimester because lots of growth is happening. The brain takes the most amount of energy to function, to heal, but also to grow. So you're exhausted that first trimester. So the quality of nutrients going in could be a piece of that morning sickness puzzle. Not always, but looking at what is going in and trying to modify and change some of those things before we move from less conservative into other forms of support in that area. We want to make sure that as baby's growing, again, less is more, but more natural helps that baby's growth and development as well. Postnatally too, right? Are you getting enough in? Sometimes we're so exhausted we're not eating, we're eating toast and cereal, which is sugars, simple carbohydrates, which can lower your immune system, your resiliency, your energy levels, even though it can give it a temporary spike. You know, avoiding the caffeinated things, making sure that, again, those good nutrients are going in to support yourself for recovery and for healing as well. I don't want to deep dive too much into those nutrients, but this is a huge, huge piece of self-care. Making sure the nutrients are going in, that maybe your support person, your partner, your community is helping you, making sure that you are eating. It is absolutely huge, especially if you are nursing. If your system gets overloaded in stress, your milk supply goes down, that adds more stress in many ways. So nutrients is so crucial, but so is hydration, right? Other parts of self-care while you are pregnant, sorry, going back and forth a little bit here again. While you're pregnant, making sure you're looking after yourself. Pregnancy, lots of changes going on in the body, pieces that can help your mindset, your physiology, how your body is feeling is potentially chiropractic, massage, acupuncture, going for facials, you know, going to get your manicure and pedicure, doing different things to help yourself feel better, feel like you are still getting looked after for yourself, doing things for yourself, for your mindset. So important. And that going back to the scheduling, making sure that's getting scheduled in. Honor yourself as your physiology is changing, right? Your appetite's going to change, it's going to fluctuate, it's going to go up and down. Some days you want to eat more, some days you're going to want to eat less, some days you're going to want to sleep more. And just listening to that and filling those pieces of the puzzle in where demand and time allows, for sure. But trying to, especially as you're getting closer in that last trimester, to get those naps where you can. Often if you are a person that is working, if you're an entrepreneur or you are a contract worker or you were a project person working on projects, a project lead, and you're going on that leave, we try and squeeze in as much as we can. We work longer hours because we know we're going to be not at work for 12 or 18 months, whatever it is, wherever you're living in the world. So you exhaust yourself versus the opposite of slowly trying to wind down and delegate and honoring yourself, because baby is growing exponentially in size that last trimester. So you're going to have less energy, which impacts your focus. And then you start to not be happy about yourself sometimes in this phase of care or phase of pregnancy. So just a heads up, awareness. What you can do to avoid that is, again, slowing down and looking after yourself and pre-planning that and pre-planning it for postnatally as well. Versus, you know what, babies do, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to plan anything, I don't know what's going to happen. Versus trying to get stuff in to the schedule, at 2 months or 3 months postnatally gives you something to look forward to. Self-compassion is super important along this way, and allowing yourself to, again, I've commented on this before, allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling. We all feel different things along the way, right or wrong, but journaling it, expressing it, and keeping track of it so you can look back on it and say, hey, you know what, I felt that way, I got through it, who helped me along that way, whatever you need to help you through those different highs and lows of pregnancy and postnatal as well. And cultural expectations in self-care is another piece as well. There are so many different individuals coming from so many different backgrounds with different expectations. I couldn't possibly insert them all here, but having that awareness of what you need to do at different stages of the pregnancy and postnatally in terms of celebration. And one thing I haven't even talked about at all in any of the modules yet is, you know, what about baby showers? You know, is that something that is still for you super important? You want to do it before? Do you want to do it after? Do you want to do it with your spouse? You know, there's different pieces, or you know, may catch up on you that in the last trimester you're too tired and you don't want to do it. So maybe doing it in your second trimester, right? You have control of some of these things. Letting your community or your village know that you don't want or like surprises is important. Setting up healthy habits for yourself. Water around the home, the condo, the apartment, super important throughout the day. And having snacks, healthy snacks set up, be it in your fridge, in different areas for you. Anchor healthy habits, right? This is another module we're going to talk about, but for self-care, creating healthy habits, anchoring them to things you regularly do to get them started, and also keep them secure for you as well. From that point as well, habits can be as simple as, and the most relevant and important things to do, like making your bed, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, getting dressed daily, dressing up, putting on your high heels, believe it or not, after you have baby is actually good for you physically, but super important to keep those habits for yourself so you actually feel like a human. Putting on your lipstick, putting on a dress or a skirt, just to help yourself feel like yourself. Making sure you're not nervous to spend time doing things for yourself because baby may cry. Just know that they're in a safe place. They're sitting in their crib. They may cry a little bit, but make sure you're taking your time for yourself to include those things on a daily for yourself to continue on to help your mindset. Baby may cry, yes, but you also need time to breathe. Taking time to breathe for yourself. If no one's around, no one can help you, you're having a moment, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, overloaded, again, put baby in a safe spot, in their crib, close the door, go in your room, close your door, have a good cry. Just don't leave them in there for too long, of course, but giving your time to take some deep breathing, and then we'll have another module on breathing and meditation for you. Self-care for you as well. What are you within reason willing to do to take care of you for self-care, right? That also has to do, a piece of that is finances. What can you afford? There's lots of things you can do that are free. There's lots of things that you can do where you can pick things up for something like a dollar store or a low value or a buy low kind of a store. At the same time, you may be able to hire someone to come to your home for massages, or come to your home to do acupuncture or chiropractic or whatever it is that you need for you. Making sure you're aware of what's in your budget for that self-care is also crucial. What is also jumping around a little bit here, what is your end of day routine for you? Set it up as a habit, set it up as a crucial part of self-care, prenatal, postnatal, that you're always doing it and incorporating it because it's something that makes you feel special. It's something to honor yourself. It's something to anchor and recognize yourself in this journey. It's not always about racing around just for the kids, for your spouse, but that you're doing this for you. This is your life, and you are the central key piece of it. Again, how to anchor healthy habits. Habit stacking, we're going to talk about habits on a different module. Scheduling your wake-up time and your bedtime and working around that. That's where the scheduling module is key and important to walk through. But your babe may throw you off on that schedule, but trying to create a strong foundation on those areas to help yourself with your self-care and your mindset. So you have some routine with your self-care.